Come on in to Margaret McSweeney's Kitchen for Kitchen Chat, where every week you'll meet chefs, cookbook authors, foodies, gourmets, and just plain people who love to eat. And along with laughter, chat, recipes, and stories about food, you'll sometimes also hear words of inspiration, love, and hope. As Margaret always says, Kitchen Chat is food for the senses and food for the soul. So grab a cup of coffee, put your feet up on a comfy chair, and get ready to spend a little time with Margaret and her friends.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kitchen Chat. This is your host, Margaret McSweeney, and I am just delighted you're joining me here in my kitchen today. We have a very, very special guest, one of your favorites, and I'm so glad she's back on to announce some wonderful and exciting news about what I'm about to do. I have been invited to be part of the Twitterati at the Emmys this year in LA. So on August 25th, it's the first time it's on a Monday night. So August 25th, please follow me on Twitter at McSweeney, McSweeney, and follow the hashtags of hashtag ETNow and hashtag Insider. I am just so excited to have the opportunity to be tweeting from their studios about the Emmys, and I want to share this experience with you and hear from you, ask what your questions are, and just let you be part of this exciting journey. And what a wonderful person to help introduce this journey and also to help you plan some Emmy parties at your own home so you can host the Emmys at your home and enjoy some fun food and fellowship with friends and family. I can't wait to introduce you once again to Barbara Lazaroff, who is the co-founder of Spago. Barbara, welcome back to Kitchen Chat.
You're so welcome. And so now I think you need a hashtag that says Gone Hollywood. You're one of us now. I made transplants in New York, but I've been here for 26 years. And of course, I go to the Academy Awards because our catering company does the Governor's Ball, and I've been to the Emmys. It's so exciting for you. And you're an avid TV watcher, so you know the people getting nominated. You know some of the shows, maybe not all of them. I think between the two of us, we may have had them all covered.
Yes, I think so. And some of the food shows, of course. I forgot about that. My goodness, some of the food shows with Top Chef and some of the other wonderful...
And probably maybe Zimmerman and, the rest of them.
Yes, and The Taste, I think, is on there
Taste,
too.
Yeah,
with Anthony Bourdain.
If you think about 20 years ago, or even in 1982 when I opened Spago Hollywood with my still partner, my former husband, Wolfgang Puck, this was not the genre. And it has just exploded. You just simply can't turn on the TV without, food and chefs being on, not just on the Food Network and other places, but on the network shows too. People are inviting chefs on, people are cooking, they have cooking segments. It's really a part of Americana now.
It is, and it's so exciting to be able to participate and interact and everything. And that's why I'm doing this Kitchen Chat, for us all to gather virtually at the table in a kitchen and share ideas and ask experts, wonderful experts such as yourself, about things that we can be doing at home to enhance the flavor and fun of our own lives. So,
well, having a party is always a wonderful way to bring friends and family together, and sometimes some of your enemies too. I'm just, they always say keep your friends close and your enemies closer. But it's a good business vehicle as well. But in our restaurants, people break bread over business deals, over celebrating the birth of a child or the impending birth of a child or wedding. We have weddings, we have anniversaries, we have baby showers. So really we're a part of the fabric of everyone's lives. And
yes,
over many, many years, you really become, in a sense, family. So at your own home, it's really important to make people feel comfortable. Give them something memorable as well. So if we're having a party based on the Emmys, I have some really fun ideas.
Oh, good. I can't wait to hear them.
I thought you could mention some of the shows that are up for the Emmys. See, and you can invite your dogs, too.
Yes.
Is that your dog? I have two dogs, and that's okay. Your dog is commenting on the Emmys. And I have to say that if you're feeding the family, do not leave your pets out of this.
Yes.
Because I noticed that cats and dogs like to watch TV.
That is so true.
And they probably have their favorite shows too, especially those commercials in between for dog and cat food.
Oh, exactly.
And my parrot used to sit on my shoulder and watch TV.
Oh, so. I love that. And we have a sun conure. You can hear chirping in the background sometimes. And that was our little Cheagle Wilson, a Chihuahua Beagle, a rescue dog. He's just a wonderful addition to the family. So,
I love it. Yeah, I've had a few rescue dogs, and I think it's wonderful. It's like adopting children. It's really important to spread the love around. Well, you mentioned we were talking about some of the great shows that are nominated this year.
Yes, Orange is the New Black.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking that if I was doing, you could really theme up different parts of your party, or you could make the entire party based on one show. Everybody could come in orange-colored clothes, or they can make up their own form of prison garb. And you can certainly serve blood orange, drinks.
Yeah.
Or, you could I once did a quail dish on Good Morning America, Till Death Do Us Part, with blood orange sauce. And you could certainly, in some of the pâtés or some of the cakes, you could certainly have some knives sticking out of them. Oh and maybe you could tell people to gingerly eat some of the food because there's little files hidden inside of them.
Oh,
but you could really do a lot of fun stuff with this. And you could also have place cards for people, and perhaps on them you could list what they're in for. Why they've come to jail. I was watching the Today Show the other morning. One of the hosts had visited the set, and it was very interesting, the women speaking about their relationships on the set and the nature of prison life. And because a lot of them had done the research, and I think women being incarcerated is similar and very different, because you think of them, of course, there's many mothers. They're away from their children. Some are in there for minor offenses. Other people are in there for obviously more violent offenses. So it's, I think people are just fascinated by the show because of first of all, the characters are so well written, but really because it's a part of life most of us never see. It's a part of, another life that we never get to see until, of course, Martha Stewart wound up.
Well, yeah,
jail.
that's
another whole thing. So there you have cooking and jail all at the same time.
Cooking and
entertaining
jail.
and incarceration at the same time. But I actually think a party like that could be quite funny and wonderful. And then I think Mad Men is, again, think about the opportunities to dress up for that one. Oh. Get out your really elegant clothes. I mean, I could have used my mother's wardrobe. That could be a very sophisticated party. Wonderful cocktails at that, right?
Oh, for sure. And in style. And Game of Thrones is another one. How would you do
get
that?
Out twigs. I have a garden here. Start cutting those twigs and, doing things and whatever. Do not poison anybody's food, though. I think the king hit the deck last season, right? He hit the deck. He's out.
Yes, with the wine.
I did see that the Queen, the real Queen, the Queen of England recently visited the set, which is, I found that fascinating that she would take the time to do that. She spoke to one of the young actresses and she said, "Oh, and what do you do?" And the actress said, "Oh my God, I had said, 'Hello, Your Majesty,' and I dipped very low, but I was told she's never going to ask you a question. So I hesitated. I didn't know what to say." And she said, "Well, I act, Your Majesty." And she turned and she looked at the throne and said, "Oh, that doesn't look very comfortable." and she said, I was flabbergasted. She goes, "No, I don't think it looks very comfortable at all." She said she didn't know what to say.
Oh, no. That is so cute.
I think many, many, many years ago, I was married at L'Hosto de Beaumanière in Provence. I had a medieval wedding with a wimple, and Sandra Rose had done my gown, and 7 yards of fabric, and knights in shining armor, the whole thing, and old carriages. It's a very medieval kind of setting. We had very interesting food because the feeling of it was to make it sort of like a little decadent kind of feast that you might imagine the kings and queens might have, and the food and the wine and all the desserts kept flowing. So I think you could really do a fabulous table, Margaret, with all the food decked out, and maybe get some heavily laden sort of not linen, but tapestry kind of fabric, and lay that across the tables and across the banquet table, and add some heavy tassels and really make it look kind of the era, so to speak.
Right.
And women could wear their gowns, and if they don't have any, you just add some fabric over fabric and add some tassels to your gown.
Oh,
and you could do some great headpieces. You can feign the language or the vernacular, so to speak.
Right.
And I think also all of these you could have sort of during dinner, you could have a sort of little questionnaire of who did what to whom and who said this, and there could be little, prizes.
Oh, that sounds like a fun idea. Oh, this is just so creative, and I love this, these wonderful thoughts you're bringing, and with the food, but also the fun that goes along with it. Now, speaking of royalty, I mean, you have met your share, I'm sure, of Hollywood royalty, and you are part of that. Any fun tidbits of some parties that you attended or hosted that truly were memorable?
Margaret, I like to think they're all memorable.
Yes, of course. But yes.
We've done the HBO party at Spago many times when we had more area in the back. Now we have a big building with a parking lot, but we had tented all of that front and back. So we've had many HBO parties with all the stars coming in, all the nominees. As I said, I go to the Oscars. We do the Oscar party. So we've had, we've met so many stars. We've had basically all of them run through the restaurant, everybody from a Brad Pitt to the Rolling Stones to actually, over the years, true royalty. I mean, I've met the King and Queen of Sweden, of Spain, we've had presidents come through. We've had so many people in different walks of life and from, what constitutes what people really think of the royal family and then what we think of as, in quotes, Hollywood royalty. I mean, Sidney Poitier, of course, dines at Spago twice a week or so. And so we have the older set, and then we have a lot of the younger set that continue in. It would almost be easier for you to ask me, did so-and-so ever come in and mention? I mean, everything from, the Rod Stewarts of the world in the music industry and the Mariah Careys to the Kim Kardashians and Kanye West, who were dining on the patio a couple of months ago, to Paul Anka, that era, to rock and roll stars of this era. I mean, the only thing is I'm trying to remember if we've ever had Bieber, and we've had Madonna, we've had over the years, we've had, Charlize Theron comes in for lunch and brings her mom for dinner. They had a couple of birthday parties there. We've just had everybody, truly. And in terms of parties, years ago we did the Elton John party during the Oscars. During the Oscars you have the governor's ball afterwards.
And is that the one where those little chocolate gold figurines are made?
Yes. This year I'll send you some. I usually bring a bunch home and freeze them and send them out. Yeah, but when we have the governor's ball, other people are having parties around town. Of course, the famous Vanity Fair party. What preceded the Vanity Fair party was the party we gave, the Marion Irving Lazar party, which was the most coveted, most difficult party to get into years ago. And then the Vanity Fair party has gotten, much larger. Irving kept the party to about 120 people, and that's all we had at the, former Spago at Spago Hollywood. It was a very tight-knit party, and everyone came. I mean, I met everybody from Audrey Hepburn and Sophia Loren to Cary Grant to Whoopi Goldberg to Andy Warhol, all mixed in, Murdoch, all mixed into the same room. So you had, financial power players with young people. At the time, Whoopi was just on Broadway, and Irving said to me, I'm having this young comedian come. She has this real hit show on Broadway. And so in the mix of all that, with Sally Field and people coming in, Maurice Jarre, who won from Song that year, composers, everybody coming in with their Oscars. And let me tell you, they weigh a lot. I have never, actually I have held an Emmy once. I have. I have some friends who are in the soap operas and they've won multiple Emmys. Yes.
Oh, that's
so
great.
I have held one.
So you had to find a place to store the Emmys when they or not the Emmys or the Oscar?
No.
They held on to it.
They have to hold on to them. In fact, a friend of mine told me recently that if you have an Oscar, you can never let somebody else hold the Oscar without your hand on it. The person who it's actually a rule. It's an insider commitment, a rule that you have to keep your hand. A person cannot take a picture with an Oscar. They have
wow!
Without the other person there. So I have a few pictures of myself standing next to or holding the Oscar along with other people holding it,
How fun. But what I love, too, is at Spago, everyone is treated as royalty. I mean, I remember bringing, when we were in LA years and years and years ago, and our youngest daughter, Melissa, it was her birthday, and there was just, they made us feel so special, and they did a little special pizza because of her allergies, and I just love it. It's a wonderful...
Oh, yeah, we do gluten food. We do Mickey Mouse pizzas for people.
And that was it.
We've done it all. But actually, we have a Chinese-French restaurant that's Chinois in Santa Monica that's been around also in 1983, and it's Asian fusion, one of the first in the United States. And Bella, our partner in GM there, is the queen of, we make parties for everything. For Bastille Day, Chinese-French Bastille Day, we make it. We do it for every holiday. And the secret of doing a great party, I think, is the mix of people, of course. And then having wonderful food. But if you want to enjoy the party yourself, it's really important to prepare a lot of things ahead of time. Because if you're just standing in your kitchen and you're making everything at the last moment, you're not really interfacing with your guests. You're not part of this party.
Right.
So I mean, making great salads and mixes of things and maybe hiring a bartender for that night or getting somebody in your family that knows to make drinks, hopefully not your under 18, under 21 child. Right. And making sure that people drink responsibly.
Yes.
Is so important. And not letting people drive when they leave your home if they're inebriated. I wanted to make this important.
Yes, and thank you. And that is very important. And
right, and I think making sure they have a lot of good food and making sure they eat something before they drink is a good idea as well.
Right.
So having some things out beforehand, some hors d'oeuvres, some interesting, you could even make up little blinis, and if you can't afford caviar and things like that, you can put so many other interesting little pâtés or things, whether you make it yourself or buy it. You can do sweet ones, you can do savory ones. As I said, having salads out, having, olives, nuts, things, chips, you can get the baked ones that are made out of beets and different types of veggies and things. But make a great guacamole, and having things out while people are drinking is important. And then if you want to enjoy your party, Margaret, you cook, you put out an array of things on a buffet table where people can serve themselves.
Right.
If you're having a more formal dinner, then having a little help in the kitchen or somebody to help serve, even if that is your cousin, is a good idea.
Right.
And having things that are sort of par cooked, and so to speak.
Yes. And also, listeners, I have to say this, Barbara, I love, love, love your Flame of Life dinnerware. It's just beautiful, and it's a fabulous addition to any party that you're hosting, and just even using it as beautiful display pieces. I think I shared the photo with you, and I did on Twitter, so listeners, you can find that. I grew tomatoes on my patio for the very first time, and it's so exciting.
Congratulations. You did better than I did. The insects got my tomatoes.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no. But it was so exciting to do that, and I wanted to display, this, and it just looked beautiful in one of the bowls from your collection. So listeners, definitely, I'll include a link.
Well, we sell them exclusively on Amazon, and they're very inexpensive at $120 for bone china for 16 pieces. But the most important thing as well is that the money goes to Meals on Wheels and other charities I support. Yes. So my tagline is plates that serve the community. But they're really festive and fun, and the poetry that I designed that Spago Beverly Hills was originally based on each individual plate. There are some of the shows, we both love Modern Family, right?
Yes, I love Modern Family. It just makes me laugh, cry, everything. It's so much fun to watch.
And we both have children, so we understand how real some of those aspects are.
Yes.
And when I was in Spago, Maui, where we have a Spago for many years at the Four Seasons there, Steve Levitan comes for the producer, director, writer, whatever. He comes with his entire family. So I had a moment a number of years ago to go around the table, say hello to everybody, and actually, in quotes, interview them. So, and they were so amusing because the kids go, yeah, I am kind of flaky sometime, one of the girls says. And the son said, yeah, that's me. And they were very forthcoming about, how they had influenced the show. They're adorable. I think a Modern Family kind of party is kind of funny too. If you got one, I don't think anybody looks like Sofia Vergara, so I don't know who you're going to come impersonate her. So.
Exactly.
And she's such a nice person too.
Oh,
she's
is she?
she's lovely.
Oh.
And also, the father of the father, not married to Sophia, but to the beautiful blonde mom on the show.
Yes.
He's nominated, right?
I think so. Yes. I think I saw his name on that.
He came and performed, as did some of the other Modern Family people, at a cabaret we've done out here in L.A., Les Girls, for the Breast Coalition. They do a cabaret every year. So it was really fun to see them all in person, too, as well.
Oh.
I also think it was a groundbreaking kind of show in another way, because the, in quotes, gay couple that have now, got married on the show, I think it was very important to have it on a network show, show all of the different manifestations of American family, the combinations, the adopted, Vietnamese child, the family with Sophia bringing her son into a new family with the older husband, the younger wife, the standard American family, with the two daughters and the son and the mom and dad, and all those convolutions of what the American family now looks like.
Exactly. And I love to watch them all come into the kitchen and have, the different parties and everything that's hosted on television within that show.
If you were doing a party at home and you were going to take one of the themes, one of the shows, your favorite, what do you think you would do?
This is a hard choice because so many fabulous shows are nominated this year. Oh my goodness. I think I might do a Game of Thrones though. I just think that is, that would
it's
be
very
so
rich,
fun.
right?
Yes.
It's rich. Well, Lynch is nominated for her new game show where she has celebrities on. So you could actually do a charades party.
True. That would be fun. Yes.
Wouldn't that be fun, really? And I once went to another party where people had to pick a name out of a hat, and they had to put it on the back of their head. So they didn't know what it was, but other people knew what celebrity it was. And actually it wasn't necessarily, some of them were cartoon characters. I wound up as Betty Boop, but I didn't know I was Betty Boop. And you cannot say the name of the person, but the other person has to act it out, and you have to guess who you are.
Oh, how funny. I can't even imagine the charades for Betty Boop. I don't even know.
Well, it was very funny because a guy was doing it.
Oh, that is hilarious.
So, he did the gesture for very large breasts, little tiny waist, big head, and he did this thing where he shook, but because I'm a Betty Boop fanatic, I got it.
Oh, that's great.
The Shirley Temple one was easy. Somebody just went and tap danced and twirled their hair. But, okay, so York Thrones.
I think Thrones. But you know what else? Another fun show that's out there, and this might be kind of interesting, is Veep. With Julia. Yeah. And it's and it's such I have a little connection, a 6 degrees of separation or whatever to, it was his name, Tony Hale, who won last year. He is an alumna of where I went to college at Samford University in Birmingham, Alabama. So it was exciting to see that he won.
So what would you do?
Year. Well, for Veep, I don't know. I mean, how would you? I mean, I'm sure you've been to the White House and everything.
I have been to the White House actually twice during Obama's time here, and also once during President Clinton's, because I did see Mrs. Clinton and President Clinton at private homes too in Martha's Vineyard. But I've been there. My friends were giving a Georgia O'Keeffe big deal to the White House, so they invited me for that ceremony. And then I've been to the White House a year and a half ago, actually with a whole group of people, Eva Longoria and a group of us. I was the token non-Latina at the meeting.
How fun.
And then I went again, yes.
Oh.
So it was pretty exciting for a Cinco de Mayo event.
Oh,
again,
how
the token
fun.
non-Latina.
Oh, I bet that was delicious. Yeah.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Wow. So yeah, it would be, I don't know how you would host I
think a lot of
party.
American flags. You have a lot of American flags,
true,
and you could make it international. Each person could possibly come as a different ambassador or diplomat from a different country.
I love that. That's
You're putting me on the spot because I'm thinking this off the top of my head.
You are the ultimate party planner.
And then you actually could do true Americana food, or, you could do hamburgers, hot dogs, all of that. Or you could do each table or each area or each part of the buffet. As I said, you could pretend that you're coming to the White House and you have all these different diplomats, and you could do a selection of food from each country.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Empanadas from one place. You could do some French cuisine from another. You could, just one item, and people could have a sampling. Because we once did the economic summit in Williamsburg, and we cooked for all the heads of state. I will never forget, Margaret, because I had to zest couple thousand lemons and I couldn't open my hand, and I also had to stuff 250 quails. And if you've ever seen 250 little birds lying on their backs with their legs open, and I have birds as you have birds, tears started coming out of my eyes because I imagined my little birds, and then I had to stuff them and tie their little legs together. And you have the Secret Service standing there all the time, and they watch as you put anything into the walk-in and you take anything out, and then all of them, prior to the dinner, taste one of everything.
Wow.
Randomly. Yeah, randomly. So what happened on Thrones wouldn't happen.
No. No Secret Service. But that's another fun idea. Someone could be the Secret Service there, too.
Exactly. So people could really come in a lot of different personas. It could be really fun.
Sure. Oh, that would be fun. Whether you're...
And I love to start a party, Margaret, with a great invitation.
Yeah.
So a lot of people email and evite these days and do that. I used to send out fabulous invitations for my son's birthdays, parties. I used to take this great photograph of him based on the theme of that year, put him in costume for it. He was young then, of course, and write a poem. I used to write a poem every time, along with the picture, and mail those out. These days, though, if people are so internet centric, centric, how's that? And so you could create one online, or you could create an email and PowerPoint or something and send it out, and with a great picture and something you want to write that's fun. My younger son's first birthday party was all about kings and queens and royalty, and so the invitation was sort of, once again, days of yore and all that. The poem was very along those lines, and I did one on a scroll. Everybody got a scroll.
Oh, wow.
So for Thorns, I think you could present scrolls for everybody.
That
you're sending
would be
the messenger.
But along with those scrolls, I hope everyone will be holding their smartphones and enjoying the Twitter party with #ETNow and #Insider at McSweeney to tweet about the Emmys.
So tell me, I know you just mentioned, so I'm gonna look it up. So #Insider and #
for ET Now.
For ET Now, and of course at McSweeney. We're going to all do that, and we're going to respond to you, right?
Yes, that would be fun. And then, I'll just, and I'd love to kind of ask food questions. So I think that'll be fun too. I mean, of course, with the dresses and the outfits everyone's wearing, but my heart is with food. So hopefully I'll somehow get some food questions.
Well, I've got news for you. At these award ceremonies, people get really hungry.
Oh, good to know. And do they go to, are there big after parties? Is it like the Oscars? Do they do the same for the Emmys?
They're different, but they do. And of course, the different networks have different parties, the different shows do. But yeah, HBO will have a party, and various networks will have parties for their shows, and obviously the party's a lot more fun if you win.
Exactly. Oh, I can't even imagine. Yeah.
In your hashtags, of course, you're going to be mentioning people individually, right?
I think what I do is I do the @ for them. So,
right. So it goes to their Twitter.
Exactly.
Right?
And we'll have to let everyone know your Twitter too, so people can follow you.
It's at Barbara Lazaroff, BARBARA, and it's LAZ as in zebra, AR as in Robert, OFF as in Frank. And I also have a iTunes podcast, #Exuberant Living, EXUBERANT, but Barbara Lazaroff at iTunes at Exuberant Living. And I'm actually going to be interviewing Mary Lou Hanna, and I'm going to interview Julie Newmar, the original Catwoman, who just came back from Comic-Con. And then hopefully when Angelica Houston finishes her second book in October, I'll be interviewing her. She was going on tour with the other book. So I do have, and I just interviewed Frank Lloyd Young, who is in Clint Eastwood's, the film version of Jersey Boys. He's a good friend of mine. I've seen him on Broadway. He won the Tony Award. So John Lloyd Young's interview is on Exuberant Living on iTunes, and Barbara Lazaroff. And also he's one of the ambassadors to Obama's Committee for the Arts.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I can't wait to tune in. You're such a wonderful.
This is so exciting for you, Margaret. This is a new chapter in your life.
It is indeed.
Foodie gone Hollywood.
As I'm telling my daughters, you're just never too old to try something new. And I just, I never anticipated Hollywood, but I'm going to enjoy it. And I invite everyone to participate and be there with me virtually.
May I make a suggestion?
Yes.
If you wind up on the red carpet, bring cookies, because you'll be the only one feeding them. They will love you. They will stand there. They have no food. They get so hungry. Bring something to tempt them.
I will. My goodness, I didn't even think about that. So there's no food. I thought thered be a big area for dining.
I know from our end, Margaret, that when people come to the Oscar party, when they come to the Academy Award show, we actually have a pre-party where we're serving hors d'oeuvres and whatever, but just a little note, the big stars basically come in and they go down another entrance and there might be food there. They don't really stand around in the main area. Although, I've met Nicole Kidman standing there. I've met a lot of other people in the area and said hello to many people. Zero Dark 30 star, I was in the elevator with her. We were squeezed together in the elevator going up. But mostly, I can also see that a lot of people may not want to eat prior to.
Yes.
But you saw the last Academy Award show where Ellen brought in the pizza guy.
Yes, I loved that with the pizza. Oh my goodness,
I was sitting right above them in the balcony, and I took the definitive, she got the definitive picture from the front. I got the definitive picture from the back, where people were trying to push to get into the photograph. Liza Minnelli couldn't get in. She was way at the back and she couldn't get into the picture.
Bless her heart. Oh my goodness. But that was just a brilliant idea to feed the audience, with pizza, because I didn't think about that. I mean, I'm sure, oh my God, I can only imagine if, first of all, I have no idea what I'm going to wear. That's the other big question. But also with my luck, I'd, spill something on my dress before.
Well, I don't wear black, but black always works,
Okay.
Or you can always wear orange, and hopefully they don't take you off, incarcerate you.
Oh, that is so funny. Well, I just can't wait.
I'm so happy for you. You are the perfect person because you're so delightful. You're so lively. You love everything. You're always tickled by something new. You're such an upbeat, positive person. Oh. Probably because you eat well, right?
I enjoy food. Yes, I do. Which which is going to be a challenge for the dress, but that's okay. And Barbara, you are just so wonderful, lovely, beautiful, and authentic and genuine. I just love that. And
I think you should repeat your hashtags again because I want to remember them too.
Oh, wonderful. So. Yes, everyone, please join me at the Emmys, or at least in the studios, and hashtag ETNow. That's for Entertainment Tonight, and also hashtag Insider. And you can follow me at McSweeney, MCSWEENEY. And Barbara, I just thank you so much for sharing your fun ideas for entertaining, bringing the Emmys to your own home by planning fun themed parties. You're just coming up with some great ideas, and I love it.
Thank you for having me on again. And you and I are actually going to see each other at Fargo in a short time. So I'm really excited. So we're going to break bread there, which is going to be wonderful. And the best of luck, the best of everything with your Emmy debut.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it, Barbara. And listeners, I'll leave a link to Barbara's wonderful new podcast, as well as her fabulous dinnerware, which benefits Meals on Wheels. And please, when you
and other charities,
yes. And
thank you so much.
Oh, and thank you. And listeners, remember, take the time and savor the day.
Thanks for joining Margaret for Kitchen Chat today. Margaret would be so excited for you to drop by and visit with her at kitchenchat.info, where you'll enjoy podcasts, blogs, recipes, tips from chefs, and even great giveaways. She invites you to share your recipes and kitchen stories too. As Margaret always says, savor the day.